Hi, welcome to Fertility Talks. This is our live post number 96. I'm your host, Mary Wong, and I am your life and fertility coach, founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, and your traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist, as well as the author of the book, Pathways to Pregnancy. I want to welcome you this evening with my special guest, Shawn Gallagher. And before we talk about Stress at Your Fingertips, which is essentially about tapping and the emotional freedom technique, I'm going to introduce you to her, and we're going to go delve into it, which is going to be awesome because we're going to do some Q&A and then go straight into a demo. So first, Shawn, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, a little bit about you. A little bit about Shawn is I first met Shawn because when I was struggling with fertility challenges myself, I had different patients at different times, like who did not even know each other, say, hey, I've been doing some hypnosis and it's been helping me and helping my subconscious thoughts and, helping me with my negative underlying thoughts that it'll never happen. Anyway, I had to check her out because her name kept on being repeated to me. And when I checked her out, she was a real deal. And I loved her work so much. It made a huge, profound impact. And I want to share her work with you. So to tell you a little bit about her background, Shawn is an evidence-based birth instructor, board-certified hypnotist of about 20 years, and the founder of Childbirth Joy Prenatal Hypnosis Prenatal Series. Now, as an EFT practitioner, it's also known as tapping and emotional freedom technique. And that's what we're going to talk about in a sec. But she was a registered midwife before it was actually legalized in Ontario. And again, how long ago was that, Shawn? 1994. So a long time ago. And she was part of the small group of granny midwives in 1994. So she co-founded the Midwife Alliance in West End, Toronto, and was a registered midwife with hospital privileges at the St. Joseph's Health Center. Now, having that kind of hypnosis background, it just kind of was a great segue. And she started to deal with a huge population of fertility clients. And that's what she does typically at Alive Holistic Health. So I'm very lucky and fortunate to have her as part of our team at our clinic, Alive Holistic Health. So again, thank you for being here and thank you for being at Alive.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into the number one question, which is, women often think that you have to be positive to get pregnant and conceive. So, what can tapping do for this? And do we have to be positive, or what are we, how do we deal with negative thoughts?
Well, I'd say that one of the strengths of hypnosis is, sorry, we're getting a...
You're live. Okay.
Okay. So I'm just getting a bit of a lag there. So, okay. I wasn't sure whether or not to. So one of the strengths of hypnosis is that thinking positive and reprogramming the unconscious mind with positive thoughts. But, we're not always wired for positive. And so I love tapping because it's really great for upsetting emotions, negative thoughts and beliefs. And what we know about the mind is that if we're repeating, a particular set of thoughts over and over again, if there was a muscle in our mind, that muscle would get stronger. But what's nice about tapping is as we tap, while we say that negative thought or have that unpleasant feeling, it actually brings it down, makes it calmer, and can actually shift it quite quickly. So I just have people say, oh, I don't want to say that negative thing out loud because that would be, I don't know, maybe she's thinking that would jinx her and then that would make it worse or something. It's like, no, not if you're tapping while you're talking about it, that's what makes the difference.
Meaning, it's like you're tapping it out. It's an outlet for it, right?
Yeah.
Rather than suppressing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so explain more about the tapping. Like, what does it do exactly? I'm not sure.
Right. I'm not sure I know either, and I don't know if the rest of the experts are sure. But one line of thought is that, given that we can put acupuncture needles in a spot, like large intestine 4,
Right.
and that's moving the chi along that meridian, that tapping does the same thing. So as we're tapping on some key spots on our body, it's moving the body's energy through, and our bodies are designed for homeostasis. They're designed for balance. So if we're just sort of unblocking stuck energy, then we're going to get better.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. And because I've done some tapping with you personally, and where, I noticed that they are basically on acupuncture points. So really my own thought around it, then when you're physically tapping, you're creating a little mini frequency, right? So that kind of vibration can go through your energy channels and perhaps unblock. And certainly when we have emotions that are suppressed within us, that can create a certain type of blockage. And that kind of emotional blockage then can impede the whole hypothalamus pituitary ovarian connection or adrenal connection, which then in turn may affect and impact our reproductive capacity. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And what we know is that the reproductive system is kind of like an energy hog. Like, it needs a lot of energy in order to function properly. So if somebody's got a whole bunch of extension cords from energy to this blocked emotion, this negative belief, this beating up of myself, then that's going to be draining energy that the reproductive system needs. And the reproductive system, in its wisdom, says, oh, okay, well, we're low on energy, so we're just not going to do it this month. We'll wait until there's more energy, because it's not going to want to get pregnant if it thinks that there's not enough energy to take that pregnancy to term.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the body's natural protective mechanism. Yeah. Good one. All right. So what if some people have had experience with tapping and it didn't work? Should they even try again, or what should they do?
Yeah, one of the nice things about tapping is that it's incredibly forgiving, and you can be tapping on the wrong spots. You can be saying all the wrong things, and it still can work. So there's a basic recipe where you repeat a sentence, even though I have this blank, this anxiety, this negative belief, whatever it is, I love and accept myself anyway. So you would do that 3 times, and then you would this blank, this blank, this blank. So there's some key spots in the body where, so this anxiety, all these anxious feelings. So that's the basic recipe, but there's incredibly creative ways to approach this. So it may be that somebody has utilized a tapping approach that just hasn't resonated, and there's other ways to go about it. But there are other energy modalities that are similar in intent to tapping, but are just very different. So I would have to check with somebody as to what was done and what didn't work, and then to see if it needed some tweaking.
Right. Okay. So then, is tapping the equivalent of EFT, emotional freedom technique?
Yes. So it it became really well known when Gary Craig kind of formalized it and systematized it. And he basically just gave it free to the world. He had an 80-page PDF, and people like me said, oh, that looks interesting. I'll give it a try. There are some other modalities, excuse me, that are out there that are expensive to learn. You have to fly halfway across the world. So it just wasn't so tapping's become very well known. But EFT, emotional freedom technique, is what it it is first known by. So it's some people call it meridian tapping. So it's going under a number of names. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So I think we should get right to it, just so that we don't lose our viewers, because we love to get to the meat of things. So how do we want to do this? How do you want to do the demo?
Well, is there anything you want to work on? And it could be just stress. It could be a tiredness. It could be.
Okay, let's just do overall generalized stress, just because I've got, like, I'm dipping into 100 things at one time. So let's just get rid of some stress. And I'm sure everyone can identify with this, especially if you're going through fertility. That's in of itself, of course, as you know, is stressful.
Yeah. So I missed that last part.
Oh, nothing. I just want to do it on for stress. Okay, just so everyone knows, Shawn is a little bit hard of hearing. So there's going to be.
I am. There's time lapse with, it must be my Wi-Fi or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, there is typically like a half a second time lapse, but it looks like there's more of a time gap for you. But anyway, just let's get going and let's do it. Okay.
Okay. So 0 to 10. If 0 being none, 10 being the most you can imagine, how stressed you are right here, right now.
6.
6. Okay. And where would you be aware of that in your body? Where, if it is any place, it may not be.
Right here on the shoulders.
Shoulders. Oh, okay.
Shoulders here. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, and does it have any particular image or color or?
Well, as you say it, I visualize like literally black blocks that are weighting me down.
So black blocks. Okay, great. Okay, so let's start with the karate chop point, or sorry, the side of the hand. And
it doesn't matter if it's left or right?
Either hand is fine. Some people will tap like this, and that's fine too.
Oh.
Or I'll tap on a firm surface if I'm, say, holding the phone. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Either way is fine. So repeating after me, even though I have all this stress.
Even though I have all this stress.
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Could I love and accept myself anyway?
Could I love and accept myself anyway?
So even though I have all this stress on my shoulders.
Even though I have all these stress on my shoulders.
These black blocks weighing me down.
These black blocks weighing me down.
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
Could I allow myself to acknowledge the stress?
Could I allow myself to acknowledge the stress?
And love and accept myself anyway.
And love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I have these heavy weights of responsibility.
Even though I have these heavy weights of responsibility.
And that feels very stressful.
And that feels very stressful.
I'm open to relief.
I'm open to relief.
I'm open to feeling better.
And open to feeling better.
Okay, so the eyebrow point is, there's one here and one here, so you can do both eyebrow points. So just where the eyebrow starts. So you would tap on the eyebrow point and say all this stress and all that it means. All this stress and all that it means. Side of the eye, all this stress weighing me down.
All this stress weighing me down.
Under the eye, I have a lot of stress.
I have a lot of stress.
That I'm carrying around.
That I'm carrying around.
And I have to do everything.
And I have to do everything.
And it feels really stressful.
And it feels really stressful.
Under the nose, the stress that's weighing me down.
The stress that's weighing me down.
All that means.
All that means.
The stress that's weighing me down on the chin.
Is stress that's weighing me down.
Could I let some of this stress go?
Could I let some of this stress go?
Collarbone, this stress.
This stress.
Would I let some of this stress go?
Would I let some of this stress go?
Under the arm, all this stress.
All this stress.
When?
When?
Top of the head, letting this stress go.
Letting this stress go.
As much as feels appropriate right here, right now.
Say again.
As much as feels appropriate.
As much as feels appropriate.
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Okay. Take a breath. And just check in with how your body is. Sometimes there's a change, either up or down that scale. Sometimes it's the same. What are you aware of?
Well, I'm totally aware that my shoulders are much more relaxed.
Ah, great.
Yeah,
So,
I don't feel or visualize or see that black block at all anymore on both sides.
yeah.
It's good.
So 0 to 10, it would be
The actual stress on my shoulders?
yeah.
Barely one now. Yeah.
Oh wow, it really
Yeah.
came down quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who are watching, I mean, I am a little seasoned in terms of learning to do these kinds of things. So I surrender. But you know what? I think anybody can do this. And even if it goes down a notch, it would make a difference, right? From whatever levels of stress you are experiencing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts or insights, Shawn?
Well, right. So you can get these situations where somebody's feeling like despair is pretty bad. Despair is a pretty heavy feeling, or guilt, blame, shame. And so somebody could be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on that scale. And they can do one round of tapping and it can come down to a 1 or even a 0. And that's extraordinary. So that can happen.
Right.
Sometimes people are a 9 and then it comes down to a 8.5 and then a 8 and then a 7.75, and you're just doing a ton of tapping and it's taking a while to come down.
Okay.
All of those are perfectly legitimate, responses, and to just keep tapping because you can get some remarkable shifts quite quickly.
Okay, so then here's a question. When you say keep tapping, do you mean keep tapping, keep going until it goes down? So how long are you tapping for each time?
So so I'll start here and then kind of finish up here. And then I'll just keep doing that sequence until I feel better.
Okay. Okay, great. And then how about how often should one do the tapping?
Right. So great question. And I think of tapping as kind of like a pressure release valve on a pressure cooker. So when, in the old days, it would sort of jiggle like that and it would let off little bits of steam, those old pressure cookers. And so tapping will do that. So instead of somebody coming home and they're at a 9.5 on that stress as they walk through the door, maybe they'll be 4.5. And throughout the day, it would have been releasing little bits of pressure. You don't need to do the entire sequence. So sometimes, like if I'm listening to the news, the collarbone point, which is, I think, K27 in traditional
Yeah, so
Chinese.
it should really be, it should be up here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just tap on that spot and I'll listen to the news, but tapping while I'm listening to a traumatic story means that my nervous system's not absorbing that traumatic story, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So then let me say this, guys, don't watch traumatic stories. Don't watch the news when you're trying to conceive. Because I always say, hey, keep yourself in a nice, happy bubble. Okay. So, sure, you can feel less upset when you're tapping while watching it, but why the heck watch it?
Or if somebody's getting a lab result or they're with their doctor or something like that, then you don't have to tap. You can just maybe hold the spot.
Yes, that's a very good idea. So basically, then you're just using it as acupressure points, a little self massage. Yeah. This is considered, we call it a window of the sky. It actually taps into your soul. It taps into the seat of your soul, and it really reaches in depth rather than just your physical body, but it's also your emotional, spiritual body. So it's really lovely that it's incorporated into the tapping technique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, any last thoughts? Because I think we're pretty well out of time, and that was really fun. I didn't know that we were gonna, talk about me and my stress.
Thanks for going to talk about you.
But I think, again, everybody who's watching, we all have certain levels of stress. So you can do this exact same one and it'll help you. And so you can just rewatch it, share it, and just tap away. It'll be so cool. And then otherwise, I think, wait, you have a website. What's your website? Here we go. So look at, ShawnGallagher.com. So there's lots of info there. And I invite you to reach out to Shawn. She's awesome. And if you live locally, obviously you can see her locally. But if you're, in another country or in the States or whatever, then just contact. And do you also do Skype calls for distance?
Yeah, Skype or Zoom is
right
here.
Okay. So I think that would be excellent. Yeah.
Tapping goes really well with that, because then I can see if somebody's tapping on the right spot or the wrong spot, Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because, you can have written instructions, but how well does that do? And also, I find that there's more compliance when someone shows you directly and you know how to do it, right? Versus just reading it. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing it right. And then you're less motivated to try. So yeah, totally. Reach out to Shawn. She's awesome. Love her. I used her myself. And again, now we just did it for a small, short period of time and it worked immediately. So it was awesome. You have the magic touch. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Shawn, for being here. And thank you for being with us at Alive Holistic Health, because I really, really dragged you to be with us because I really love your work so much. And I so respect your work and who you are as a human being. So thank you all for watching, and please go below, check out all my different posts, because I do have now 96 posts. And if you don't have Facebook and if you just somehow got on, you can go to marywong.life under the videos and you'll see all the previous videos. So, and of course, that's all free. However, this Sunday coming up, I am doing my 4th Fertility Circle. So it's live from 11 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. And I am going to take you through and how to bring back the joy in your life right now, with or without baby. So we're going to provide you strategies and tools, and I'll do some demonstration, and there'll be Q&A. It's going to be awesome. It's community, it's live, it's energetic. So please join me, and you can go on to marywong.life and go under the coaching, I believe, and then that's going to take you to a link to then register. So please come and join me. It'll be awesome. Okay, have a great night. And next week, join me again at Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I never look ahead, but I have a whole whack of things up to December. So I have interviews from now until next December. Oh, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, I think my live post is next Friday, because I have a guest, Nava Carmen, who is a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine doctor from the UK, joining me. And we have to find a time that works for both of us, because right now it's in the middle of the night. So please join us. We're going to talk about endometriosis. It's going to be awesome. And so have a great night, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye for now.
Yay.